is working for you, digging deeper after a story in July revealed dozens of calls to law enforcement at a foster care emergency shelter. Children were removed from Margie's House emergency shelter by DHS, but the director of the home told us dozens of calls to police were the norm for these types of facilities. So reporter Marcy Manley wondered, does DHS need to take a closer look at what's going on behind closed doors?
There's one room.
Spots at foster care emergency shelters are in high demand with the state in a foster care crisis.
There's a great need for children to have, a safe place.
What's the address of your emergency?
As we reported in July, these facilities frequently make calls to law enforcement for various reasons.
You're going to get those calls because those kids are going to fight.
According to DHS officials, there are 5 foster care emergency shelters located across the state. Between 2013 and 2015, Margie's House made 75 calls to law enforcement for help. Consolidated Youth Services in Jonesboro called around 66 times, and United Methodist Children's Home in Little Rock called at least 170 times. All totaled between all 5 locations, more than 300 phone calls were made to law enforcement.
I think we've got that covered.
But according to state officials, those numbers don't appear to be out of whack with what's expected.
Calls to law enforcement are not that uncommon.
And one issue with the calls, the Department of Human Services, which licenses the homes, isn't contacted for every incident, and that can make it tough to track what's truly happening inside these homes.
We could have multiple reports within a week, sometimes multiple within a day.
According to DHS, Margie's House never made a report for any incidents. Methodist Children's Home contacted DHS for 30, 22 suicides or attempts, and 8 serious injuries, while Consolidated Youth Services made 5 reports, 3 for arrests and 2 involved serious injuries. But according to the records, calls made regarding assaults, disturbances, and runaways, at least 150, according to law enforcement data, weren't on DHS's radar, at least not recorded as a formal notification. Facilities are required to report any incidents resulting in an arrest, serious injury, or death to DHS. But when it comes to those other incidents, including runaways, DHS isn't always notified.
One of their coping skills they have if they feel stressed, a lot of the times, is to run away. If that child goes out of sight, we are required to call the police and make a report.
Runaways are far and above the most frequent call for every location, with more than 100 runaway reports during the time period, but DHS is only alerted if the child is in state custody.
Seems like if you've got every other report is saying, well, this is the 5th time they've run away, well, that seems like that could become a safety issue.
We encourage them to let us know when they're having any problems, but the current licensing requirements don't require that they let us know that.
Talking about reporting issues.
DHS now working to change the rules, which we questioned back in July.
We are trying to broaden that out some to cover runaways and other situations that we think would be helpful for us to know about immediately.
According to Craig Gammon at Methodist Children's Home, his group records each runaway or other incident to keep on file, which licensing specialists like Shirley Preston review on at least a quarterly basis.
We'd be looking for any patterns or trends, whether it be with a staff person or with that child's behaviors.
But the system is decentralized, as the licensing unit only converted its operation to computers fairly recently.
We have a lot of general information we have access to. Putting it together by type is a little more problematic.
The unit working to beef up its system to begin delving deeper.
It would allow us, I think, to have a better handle on patterns and to look at what goes on.
Tracking those patterns might allow DHS to see where recurring problems exist and what resources kids across the state need behind closed doors. Now, Margie's House has agreed to a corrective action plan with DHS following those allegations of inappropriate discipline inside the facility in July. At this point, none of the children in state custody have been returned to the home. Bob and Shannon, back to you.
All right, Marcy, thanks. And if you have a story you believe needs KRK4 working for you, you can contact Marcy through our tip line. That number's there on your screen. It's 340-4448, or you can send an email to workingforyou@krk.com.
It was